Hi, if you're watching this video today, that means that you've adopted a dog from the Humane Society of Western Montana. Let me start by thanking you myself and for the rest of the staff for opening not only your home, but your heart to a new furry family member. This video will cover all of the basics of bringing a new dog home.
We'll cover house training for dogs of all ages, home alone, taking the plunge and leaving your dog alone for the first time, house rules, basic manners for home life, and troubleshooting, the basics and questions you may have forgotten to ask.
Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Christiana and I'm an adoption specialist at the Humane Society of Western Montana. My furry friend here is Anna, a 6-year-old Great Pyrenees mix, and her adopter, Drea. We're both going to be walking you through this process using both Drea and Anna and showing you all the basics of bringing a new dog home.
Okay, Anna, welcome to your new home. I think you're going to be really happy here. We have a nice comfy bed for you, and food and toys and everything that you think you'll need. And your bathroom is outside. Let me take you to it. Come on. Okay, well, I guess you didn't have to go potty just yet. I'm assuming that you're gonna let me know when you have to go potty, because you know they said you're a house trained and everything. Yeah, we'll go with that. I'll just let you hang out for a while I go make dinner. Hey Anna, what you doing, pretty girl? What you do? Why is there water on the? Oh, that's not water. So I don't really understand. I had her out for quite a while and we walked around, but you know, sometimes she sniffed, but she didn't have to go, but I thought she was house trained.
And she had an accident in your house?
Yes.
Well, that's fairly common with shelter dogs especially. Even the best dog who's been house trained their entire life might lose all knowledge of any kind of training that they've had in the shelter. It's important to remember that when you're first bringing them home during those very crucial, stressful times, to always monitor them and try to get a schedule right away.
Oh, and what if I can't get her to potty outside on leash? What do I do then?
Take her outside for 2 to 5 minutes. It's important to keep her moving the whole time. Remember, movement equals movement. If she doesn't go potty within that 2 to 5 minute period of time, bring her inside. Either keep her on leash and with you the whole time, or if you can't do that, make sure she's supervised or confined in her isolation space. Then try again in an hour. The time period of 2 to 5 minutes is important because it teaches your dog to go to the bathroom within that small amount of time of going outside. Remember, when she does finally go potty outside, reward her like crazy with treats and praise.
So what do we do if I can't constantly supervise her in the house?
Well, it's important with no matter what age your dog is to have a puppy-proof / dog-proof area in your home where you can safely isolate your dog at any time when you're not able to watch them constantly during these first few months of transition. This could be anywhere from a bathroom or a bedroom with a closed door or even a heated garage if that works better for you.
Now let's do a quick house training review. Remember, it's important to constantly monitor your dog for the first couple of weeks. When outside, movement equals movement. Keep them outside for a 2 to 5 minute period of time. It's important to have a puppy-proof isolation area for when you can't closely monitor, and reward like crazy when they go outside on their own.
Okay, Anna, it's time for me to go to work. And you know, you'll be okay. You'll be okay here all by yourself, right? Right? You'll be okay. Your bed is right over there, and there's some chew toys and some toys and I'm gonna miss you so much. I'm gonna miss you. You'll be a good girl. You'll be a good girl, okay? Okay. Okay, you'll be good. You'll be a good girl. One more kiss. Mwah. Be a good girl. Bye, Anna. Anna, I'm home. I missed you so much. I can't wait to see how you look. Oh, my goodness, my favorite scarf. You chewed on it, and the garbage everywhere, and the shoe, my favorite shoe. Why?
Whoops, nobody likes to come home to unexpected messes, whether it's inappropriate elimination or having your things torn up. That's why it's so crucial to have a puppy-proof/dog-proof isolation space for whenever you can't monitor your dog.
Oh, what do you mean by isolation space?
Isolation spaces should be somewhere in your home where if your dog gets into something, it's not going to be a big deal. Where they're safe, your things are safe, and you never have to worry about coming home to unexpected messes. It can be anything from a spare bedroom that you puppy-proof, making sure that anything that your dog can get into, cabinets, drawers, things like that, are all securely shut, either with baby locks or any way you can kind of block them. Picking up any shoes, clothes, or any other items that you don't want torn up. Or even a heated garage if that works out better for you. As long as the dog is comfortable with a nice bed, food and water, and has access to its basic necessities, that's a pretty good puppy-proof space. If you live in a smaller place and you don't feel like you have an ideal room in your house or a place to confine your dog, crate training is always a great option. It's great for anybody who wants to try it, and we highly encourage anybody who's bringing a new dog home to try crate training. We have a wonderful handout at the Humane Society that we like to give to all of our adopters to make sure that they can do the crate training process right. So once you feel comfortable with the confinement space in your home, it's important to make sure the entrances and exits are as low-key as possible. It's a good idea to keep your dog in the confinement space for at least 15 minutes when you get home and before you leave. That way they learn to desensitize the idea of you coming home and leaving with being something scary, and rather it's just something normal.
Now a quick Home Alone review. It's important to have a puppy-proof isolation area that is easily cleanable. And if you don't think you'll ever feel comfortable leaving your dog alone, loose in the house, consider crate training, and make your exits and entrances as low-key as possible.
Aw, Anna, not on my new couch!
To prevent bad behavior from the beginning, it's a good idea to set house rules before you even come home with your new pet. At the shelter, we like to live by a philosophy called nothing in life is free, which basically means everything you give your dog, you're going to ask for something in return. That way you set good, strong boundaries from the very beginning. If you're not sure what kind of things you want your dog to do right away, like for instance, if you don't want your dog to get on your bed or on the couch, start off by being a little bit more strict and not allowing them to. It's a lot easier to break rules later than it is to set new ones and to fix bad behavior. It's also a good idea to use positive reinforcement at all times and to encourage your dog to do good behavior and ignore the bad behavior. For instance, something that a lot of new dog owners run into is jumping up. Lots of new dogs, when you come home into your house with new guests or when you're just coming home, the first thing your dog wants to do is greet you by jumping up and licking your face or pawing at you. Those kinds of inappropriate behaviors are not so desired all the time. You might like them when it's just one time, but when you have guests over, it's not so fun. So an easy way to correct that is if when your dog jumps up on you, rather than doing your natural instinct to push them down or say no, which is actually a reinforcer for the bad behavior, just turn your body away and wait till all four are on the floor. Then reward them like crazy for being such a good dog.
House rules review. When choosing your house rules, be cautious in the ones you choose. It's easier to break rules later than bad habits. Ignore all undesired behavior and redirect and reward this good desired behavior with treats and praise.
Now let's just briefly talk about something that I like to call the honeymoon period. The honeymoon period can be the first couple of weeks to up to the first couple of months that you have your dog. Two things can happen in this period of time. Either your dog will be extremely well behaved, you won't see any bad behavior because they're so uncomfortable that they don't really express their true personality or show their real colors, or it'll be the other side of the extreme and they'll be doing lots of naughty things that they're not necessarily going to always do. It's just that they're so stressed and uncomfortable right now that they don't really know how to act appropriate yet. So depending on what kind of dog you have, you might have the perfect angel for the first couple of months, or you might have a little bit of a devil who gets into things and makes you a little bit more frustrated than you thought you might be. Just stay patient and remember to always puppy-proof, isolate, and watch your dog constantly until you feel 100% confident that you can leave them unattended. And if an accident happens, just be prepared that if you leave your favorite shoes out and your dog tears them apart, it's not your dog's fault. So one of the most frequently asked questions when you're bringing a new animal home is, how much do I feed them? What do I feed them? How often do I feed them? All those questions are awesome questions, and I'm going to touch on those just very briefly. So when you're leaving the shelter today, you'll be taking your bag of Science Diet food. You can continue to feed your dog Science Diet if you'd like to, but you certainly don't have to. It's important to remember, however, if you are going to switch them, you don't want to do it too dramatically. Otherwise, your dog might get kind of an upset tummy, diarrhea. Nobody likes that. How often you feed your dog is important too. At the shelter, we really like to do twice a day feeding, once in the morning and once in the evening. This helps to prevent your dog from being overly hungry and begging at the table when you're eating meals. It also helps you to get on a good schedule for elimination and other things like that. Plus, if you only ate once a day, you'd be hungry too. Young, old, big or small, it doesn't matter. All dogs need exercise. And a yard just isn't enough. Dogs don't exercise themselves in the yard. And unless you're going to sit out there and play with them the entire time, it's not going to be as fun or as beneficial to them. It's important to remember that your dog needs to get out at least once a day for a nice little jaunt for many reasons. And think about the more exercise that you do, the easier the transition in the home is going to be because the less stressed out your dog's going to be. Plus, it's a good way to bond with your dog and it's nice for everyone to get outside. It's also important to remember that you don't want to let your dog off leash until you know you have a really good recall with them. This is important for a lot of reasons. You don't want your dog getting away from you and getting into any kind of trouble, whether it's getting into a little scuffle with another dog or being in danger of being hit by a car. Additional training is very important. An educated dog is going to be a dog who's way less stressed out and is going to be a lot more bonded to their family member and a lot less likely to get into trouble. If you take an additional training class, especially through the Humane Society of Western Montana, we teach you how to do coming when called, and which is what we consider great recall.
Troubleshooting review. The first couple weeks to first couple months you own your dog is known as the honeymoon phase. Your dog may act a little funny during this time, but just be patient. We recommend feeding your dog at least twice a day and slowly incorporating your new food into the bag of science diet provided. Remember, all dogs need exercise. It's a great stress reliever, and a tired dog is a good dog. Additional training is important for dogs of all ages. We offer a great class here at the Humane Society. Please contact us for more details.
Thank you again for adopting from the Humane Society of Western Montana. Hopefully we answered most of your questions, and if you have any others or if we can help you in any other way, please feel free to call us, email us, or check out our website at any time. Congratulations!